What is up, nerds? I'm Wes from Neverboard Gaming, and I want to let you guys know about a new expansion for Sagrada coming out, The Great Facades. To be more specific, I'm going to be talking about the Passion module for The Great Facades. It's going to be a 3-part expansion, and I'm looking at part 1, which is taking all from the beauty and the creativity and the passion of what goes into creating these beautiful works of art. So it's going to add a couple new things to the game. The thing that I think people are going to be most excited about seeing are the new rare dice. And the rare glass dice are the clear dice you see here that are basically going to be used as a wild color. They can override color locks on your board. So if something says like you have to put a green die here, you can put one of the clear dice there. You do still have to respect the number values, but these have to do a lot with like changing number values too, so you're not necessarily locked into that. The way you get these rare glass dice is instead of drawing 3 tool cards, you only draw 2 of them, and then you select one of the rare glass cards to place as your 3rd tool. And each of these cards is going to have a specific way that you can get that rare glass dice, and people are only allowed to have 1 rare glass dice on their board per game, so you're not going to have to worry about like fighting over who gets it because everybody has an equal shot to get it. Again, the different cards are going to tell you how you can gain access to that rare glass die. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes you just buy it, but there's only a specific place you can put it, but it's all working towards getting that die onto your board. The reason you're going to want to have this rare glass die, even if you don't necessarily need it, is another thing this is going to add is more point objective cards, both private and public. The public objective cards that I've seen have mostly been based around symmetry on your board, which really helps you create a beautiful masterpiece with your dice where it's symmetrical on both sides, or as close to that as you can be, which I really think helps bring you back into the theme of actually creating a work of art and not just a bunch of colors on your board. The private objectives that I've seen have to all do with where you place that glass die, the rare glass die, and what's around it. So it could be like what's, you score the number on the dies that are in the same row as it or in the same column or anything that's touching it, and so on and so forth. So that's going to really incentivize you to actually go ahead and buy one of those rare glass die instead of just playing without it and doing your best you can. The last thing this expansion is going to add is asymmetric player abilities. And really that's something that I love seeing in games. I think that the ability to have a slight edge up over your opponents, but they have a different edge over you, really helps make the games unique. It helps the replayability, and it keeps from just being who can do the best with what's out there, and helps you craft a strategy around what your ability is. Now, again, these abilities are all different. Some of them are once per game, some of them are once per round, some of them are kind of luck-based. I had one game where I had an ability that let me re-roll a die that I drafted each turn, which was cool and also bad. Sometimes it worked out really well for me, but sometimes I'd re-roll a die hoping to get something a little better, maybe a little more points, maybe it would go with my private objective a little bit better, but then I ended up getting a non-usable die and it lost a die that turn, which really set me back. So these abilities are really cool and just help you add a little touch of uniqueness to every game. Overall, I really enjoyed adding this expansion to my game. I think that Sagrada is an amazing game. Aaron and I both love it. I have no idea what Tom thinks about it because I've never played it with him. It's a great game and I love everything they add to it. It's adding more to the game, it's developing it, it's opening it up, and it's adding a lot more replayability and just bringing something fresh to the table every time you open the box. I'm also really partial to modular expansions. I love the idea that like I can take some and leave others and craft the game that I want based on who I'm playing with. You can have one expansion where you're like, oh, I really like this one, but I know he doesn't. So I'm able just to remove this piece of it and still play with everything else and have that much better a game. So we're going to have purchase links in the description box down below, as well as links to more information once we find out about this game, and hopefully more information about the other modules in the Great Facade expansion. Regardless, while you're down there, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored. You draw two tool cards,